Kasparian of the Young Turks has flip-flopped once again on the issue of homelessness, because it seems like at TYT, before they got all that Katzenberg cash, that $20 million or so investment from the that Katzenberg backed group, before that happened, before that big Katzenberg cash infusion happened at TYT, she seemed to have some empathy and understanding for people that are experiencing homelessness and didn't demonize them or talk about how they only engaged in crime and using drugs. But then after that happened, we have this clip. But then a while after that came out, she flip-flopped back again to her original position of having some empathy and understanding for the homeless people, which is obviously, the correct position that people should have. Just because somebody's homeless doesn't mean they're not worthy of dignity and respect and all that stuff. But why does she keep going back and forth on this? I mean, it seemed like, again, she had the correct position before, then TYT got all that Katzenberg money, and he had been lobbying the LA City Council to criminalize homelessness and tear the tents down, take people's belongings away, throw them in the trash. And then it seems like she adopted a similar attitude and then flip-flopped again back to the correct position, probably because of all the backlash she was getting rightfully for having this horrible take. So we'll watch this one, which again was only from a few weeks ago, then this one from August 4th, where she went back to the correct position on this issue. So again, this was the first one.
I do think that there are progressives, I don't know if it's progressive policy, but progressives in places like...
Obviously not progressive policy to fucking demonize and criminalize homeless people. Definitely not progressive.
California, who have made terrible decisions. And so one of those terrible decisions is essentially doing away with anti-camping laws, right? Allowing people to...
So anti-camping laws, just say what it is, anti-homeless laws, criminalizing the poor, criminalizing people without housing laws, more accurately.
Camp out wherever they want, whenever they want. And if, we have a homeless problem in California. We have it all throughout the country, but it's particularly bad in California. And so the argument is, well, if there isn't public housing available for people, they should be allowed to camp out. Okay, but there's also a problem right now where there is public housing available and individuals will...
Again, more bullshit. At best, maybe you'd be able to get into a crowded shelter during a pandemic where there's a lot of rules and regulations, just very authoritarian. A lot of people understandably wouldn't want to stay in that type of situation. They would rather be on the streets.
No, I don't want to take it. I don't want to follow the rules in the public housing. And so as a result, I would rather camp out. Progressive lawmakers are like, we should allow them to camp out. And you know what happens? Crime happens.
See, here she was trying to say, well, actually all homeless people are criminals. That's why all the crime is happening. We got to get them off the streets or crime will go down. And that's not just me saying that. Like, Jeffrey Katzenberg also thinks that, and he gave TYT a lot of money. He's really smart, so now we're going to start parodying the shit he supports. TYT.
Open air drug markets have...
Homophogressives. And then now she's saying open air drug markets. They're all on drugs. They're all nuts. They're committing crime. Sweep them up. Sweep up their tent. Sweep up everything. Progressives.
And it's the truth. These are the facts of the matter. In fact, it was...
Facts of the matter. You're just fucking making shit up, right?
In this Daily Beast article, and honestly, it was cathartic to read it.
It was cathartic because it confirms that, my horrible views are actually okay. Okay, so that's what she was saying 2 weeks back about homeless people just absolutely going on an anti-homeless tirade, really disgusting, saying they're druggies, they're criminals, they're bad, homeless people bad. And then here we go, August 4th, not very short time after that came out, here we have this. We need to be fighting aggressively for permanent housing for these people. To treat homeless people in California as a monolith is stupid, because she was literally just doing that, saying all they did was commit crime and use drugs and sell drugs. That was the picture she was painting. I mean, Jesus Christ, like, what the... Literally, probably, I don't know, not a week or 10 days after this clip started to circulate, she... complete 180 on this issue. So again, like, it just seems like whatever way the wind is blowing, that directs Anna Kasparian's views on the homeless population that day. Like, what in the actual fuck? So let's see this flip-flop once again.
We need to be fighting aggressively for permanent housing for these people. Telling us that you're a good guy because you're allowing them to keep whatever they want to keep around them, it's nothing. That's nothing compared to what you actually need to do in providing housing, and in addition to that, social services so they can get their feet back on the ground and get their lives together. That includes mental health care. That includes job training. That includes drug rehabilitation, because some of these people are unfortunately addicted to drugs. Obviously not all of them. I'm not generalizing here.
That's what she did before, and now she went back. No, there are some differences between the homeless population. They are not all on drugs or not all committing crime.
So what is she saying, basically?
Well, before she was saying that basically characterizing all homeless people as being using drugs or selling drugs or being criminals, and now she's back to the position that they're not all bad and they deserve dignity and respect in these services, which is the correct position to come to. But she flip-flopped very recently, so it's just kind of interesting that happened.
So how long ago did she post saying like all of them were
just a couple weeks before this, I think.
Of course. Probably after people started hating on
Probably.
her.
Probably.
But to treat homeless people in California as some sort of monolith is stupid.
That is stupid, I agree, but that is what she was doing a short time before this. So what changed? Was it the backlash, the direction of the wind? Like, what is going on there?
Because they're not a monolith. There are different groups that are dealing with different struggles and need a different approach. But what we're seeing from the city right now is just this superficial baseline. We'll put you in Project Room Key. We'll put you in some temporary housing. We're going to push you into some shelters. It's just not a long-term solution.
Boom. So, like, that is a much more reasonable take and perspective to have on the homeless population in this clip here. But again, what changed? This was it probably more than 2 weeks between that clip and the one we just viewed. What changed? So she's back at the correct position now, but what changed? I mean, it just seems like, again, just a flip-flop, and it'd be interesting if there's more context to this. If let's see what people are saying in the comments about this. More context to see, like, is she explaining why she went back to the correct position on this? What exactly happened? There's Primo Radical. Nice cover up from the original anti-camping rant. And this is a complete 180. Only reason you made this because you got called out for your disgusting rant about homeless people. No leftist, no true leftist, whoever said the things Anna said about the homeless community. Absolutely disgusting. I mean, I agree. Yeah. I see what you did. Oh man. So again, just a complete flip-flop to maybe, try to defend, muddy the waters a little bit to pretend like this clip isn't out there floating around, as disgusting as it is. But it's so weird. Like, there's obviously something weird going on here, because she used to have the correct position. Then Katzenberg donated that 20 million, and then it seems like obviously that has influenced the politics of TYT, even though they said it hasn't. I think that would be silly to think that it hasn't influenced their, politics. This is just one example of that, and now she's claiming to be back on the correct side of history on this issue. But again, I don't really necessarily believe her, because she's flip-flopped so much on this issue. So do we believe her 2 weeks ago? Do we believe her now? Do we believe her several years ago when she had the correct take on this, really important issue? Hard to say. I think, again, she's probably changing her tune now because of the backlash that she got. She probably, it's hard to tell what she believes at any moment on this, and that's problematic. I think that comment somebody made, like, you're not truly on the left if you don't have, empathy and compassion for vulnerable, marginalized groups, and homeless people are definitely near the top of that list. I mean, for fuck's sake, they don't have a goddamn house. Like, they're deserving a lot of empathy and respect, and advocating for fucking getting them a housing first model. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Like the video if you like the damn video. Subscribe for more content. Become a patron if you're so inclined. That's down there too. Let me know what you think about this latest flip-flop by Kasparian at TYT. Peace. Much love.